The journey of a chosen soul, 1,000 words of motivation. The journey of a chosen soul is not for the faint of heart. It is a path carved by the divine, a road less traveled where trials become the chisels that shape a soul into its highest form. If you have felt the stirring of something deeper within you, a call that others do not hear, then you are among the chosen, selected to walk a path of light in a world that often shrouds itself in darkness. This journey is not about seeking the applause of the world but about seeking the whisper of truth in the silence of your heart. A chosen soul is not defined by external validation but by an inner fire that refuses to be extinguished, no matter how strong the storm. 1. The calling. At some point in life, a chosen soul feels an unshakable pull, an inner knowing that they are meant for something greater. It may not come with loud announcements or grand visions. Sometimes, it is a quiet discomfort with the superficial, a longing for depth, a thirst for truth. Do not ignore this call. It is the divine knocking at the door of your heart, inviting you to step into a higher existence. Many will ignore this summons, choosing comfort over purpose, but not you. You are chosen because you are willing to listen, to seek, and to surrender to a higher will. 2. The isolation. The road of a chosen soul often leads to solitude. You will walk paths that others do not understand. Friendships may fade, and you may feel as though the world no longer speaks your language. This is not punishment, it is refinement. The aloneness is a sacred space where your soul is purified, where distractions are stripped away so you can hear the voice of the divine more clearly. Embrace the silence. Do not fear being unseen or misunderstood. The great souls of history, prophets, sages, and enlightened ones, also walked alone before they shone like beacons in the darkness. 3. The trials. Every chosen soul will face trials that test their faith, resilience, and commitment to the path. You will encounter betrayals, doubts, and moments of despair. These are not signs of failure but signs of growth. Fire does not destroy gold, it refines it. When the storm rages, remember, the deeper your calling, the greater your trials. The universe does not waste its energy on souls that are not destined for something extraordinary. You are tested because you are trusted with a mission beyond yourself. 4. The inner transformation. A chosen soul is not born, they are forged. With each trial, you will shed layers of ego, illusion, and fear. You will begin to see with new eyes, eyes that perceive beyond appearances, that understand beyond words. This transformation is painful but necessary. Like a seed breaking open in the dark soil before it reaches the light, your soul must break through its old limitations before it can rise. Trust the process. Trust the divine intelligence that guides you, even when you do not understand. 5. The service. A chosen soul is not chosen for themselves alone. They are chosen to be vessels of light in a world that often forgets its own radiance. Your journey is not just for you, it is for those who will come after you, those who will find solace in your wisdom, courage in your resilience, and faith in your unwavering devotion. Serve in silence if you must. Love without expectation. Give without seeking recognition. The greatest souls often work in the shadows, unseen but deeply felt. 6. The ultimate realization. There will come a moment when you will understand that the journey was never about reaching a destination. It was always about becoming. The trials, the solitude, the inner battles, they were all part of a sacred unfolding, a process that shaped you into who you were meant to be. At the peak of your journey, you will not seek validation or rewards. You will find peace in simply being. You will realize that the divine was never far from you, it was within you all along. A final word. To you, the chosen soul who reads these words, do not doubt your journey. Do not seek shortcuts or compare your path to others. Walk with faith, even when the way is unclear. Trust that every tear, every wound, and every silent prayer is seen and honored by the divine. You are not alone. You never were. The universe moves through you, and your journey is sacred beyond measure. Keep walking, keep shining. The world needs your light. There will be days when the weight of this path feels unbearable, when the silence becomes deafening and the solitude turns into a void. You may question why you were chosen, why the road is so steep, why the trials seem endless. But understand this, every chosen soul has walked through the valley before reaching the mountaintop. The darkness is not your enemy, it is your teacher. You will find strength in places you never expected. There will be moments when a simple breeze, a quiet moment of stillness, or a whisper from within reminds you that you are exactly where you are meant to be. The universe does not abandon those who walk in faith. Even in the silence, you are guided. Even in the emptiness, you are held. Do not seek validation from the world. The world does not recognize those who walk the sacred path until much later, when their light becomes undeniable. Many great souls were dismissed, misunderstood, even persecuted in their time. But the truth cannot be hidden forever. Your mission is not to be seen, it is to see. Not to be understood, but to understand. Not to receive love, but to become love itself. When you feel weary, remember why you started. Go back to that moment when the fire first ignited in your soul. Remember the longing, the call, the undeniable knowing that you were meant for something greater. That feeling was not an illusion. It was real then, and it is real now. You will be tempted to turn back, to take the easier road, to blend into the crowd. But you cannot. A chosen soul cannot return to blindness after having seen. You may try to ignore it, to silence the voice within, but it will always return. The soul remembers its purpose, even when the mind tries to forget. Do not be afraid of who you are becoming. Growth is uncomfortable. Shedding old identities, old attachments, old versions of yourself will feel like dying. In many ways, it is. But what emerges from that death is something purer, something more aligned, something eternal. There will be people who do not understand your transformation. Some will resist it, some will try to pull you back into the old ways, into the familiar patterns. Not because they wish to harm you, but because your growth challenges their stagnation. Bless them, love them, but do not dim your light to make them comfortable. Your duty is to truth, not to approval. A time will come when you no longer seek anything outside yourself. You will realize that everything you once searched for, peace, love, wisdom, purpose, was never in the external world. It was within you all along. The world teaches us to seek, but the soul's journey is about remembering. Remembering who you are, remembering why you are here, remembering that the divine does not exist in some distant place but in the very core of your being. When the storms come, stand firm. Do not be shaken by the winds of doubt or the voices of fear. You have walked too far to turn back now. Every challenge you face is an initiation, a test to prove that you are ready for the next level. Pass these tests not with resistance, but with surrender. Surrender is not weakness, it is the highest form of strength. It is trust in the divine plan, in the unfolding of your destiny, in the wisdom that guides you even when you cannot see. A chosen soul does not need to force their way through life. What is meant for you will come in divine timing. You do not need to chase, to grasp, to struggle. Flow with the current of your destiny, and trust that what is truly yours can never be lost. Your journey is sacred. Do not rush it. Every moment, every lesson, every hardship is shaping you. There is no wasted time, no wrong turns. Even the detours are part of the path. Every soul you meet, every experience you have, is placed in your life for a reason. Trust that reason. You will meet kindred spirits along the way, others who carry the same fire in their soul, who understand the depth of this path without the need for words. Recognize them, honor them. Walk with them when your paths align, but do not cling. The journey of a chosen soul is often solitary, but it is never lonely, for you are always accompanied by the unseen forces that guide you. In your quietest moments, when you sit in stillness and listen, you will feel it, the presence of something vast, infinite, and loving beyond comprehension. It has been with you from the beginning. It will be with you until the end. Do not be afraid to step fully into your power. You were not chosen to live in the shadows of doubt and fear. You were chosen to rise, to shine, to embody the highest truth. This is not arrogance, it is humility, for a chosen soul knows that their light is not their own. It is a reflection of the divine, a gift to be shared, a torch to guide others home. Keep going, keep trusting. The path will not always be easy, but it will always be worth it. One day, you will look back and understand why every challenge was necessary, why every loss was a lesson, why every moment of pain was preparing you for something greater. And when that day comes, you will not feel pride, nor regret, nor longing. You will feel peace, the kind of peace that comes from knowing you walked your path with courage, with faith, and with an open heart. That is the destiny of a chosen soul, and that is who you are. There is a moment in every chosen soul's journey when they realize that they no longer belong to the world as they once did. The old ways, the familiar comforts, the illusions that once held their attention, none of it satisfies anymore. This is the mark of awakening, the undeniable shift that separates who you were from who you are becoming. You may feel like a stranger, even among those you love. You may wonder why conversations feel empty, why the desires that once excited you now seem trivial. This is not a loss, it is a transformation. Your soul is expanding beyond the limitations of the ordinary, reaching for something deeper, something eternal. Do not resist this evolution. Many will try to hold on to their old self, fearing what lies beyond the known. But a chosen soul does not have that luxury. You are being pulled forward by something greater than yourself, by a force that knows exactly where you are meant to be. Surrender to it. This surrender is not about giving up. It is about giving in, to the divine flow, to the wisdom of your own soul, to the path that was written for you long before you were born. There is a peace in letting go, in trusting that you do not need to control every step. The universe is not against you, it is guiding you. As you walk deeper into this path, you will notice the world differently. Where others see chaos, you will see patterns. Where others see loss, you will see transformation. Where others see endings, you will see beginnings. This is the gift of a chosen soul, the ability to perceive beyond the surface, to understand the hidden harmony beneath apparent disorder. But with this gift comes responsibility. You cannot live as you once did, thinking only of yourself. A chosen soul carries light, and light is meant to be shared. You may not always know how, and you may feel unworthy, but know this, the world needs what you carry. Your presence, your words, your actions, all of it has an impact beyond what you can see. Walk with humility, but never with doubt. You were not chosen by mistake. Every experience, every hardship, every moment of solitude has prepared you for this. Nothing was wasted. Nothing was without purpose. Even your wounds are sacred. They have made you who you are. Healing is a vital part of this journey. A chosen soul cannot carry the weight of their purpose while still holding on to past pain. You must release it. Forgive, not because others deserve it, but because you deserve peace. Let go, not because the past was meaningless, but because your future is calling. As you heal, you will notice something extraordinary. The more you release, the lighter you become. The less you cling, the freer you feel. This is the paradox of the spiritual path. What the world calls loss, the soul knows is liberation. And in this freedom, something miraculous happens. You begin to hear the voice of the divine more clearly. No longer drowned out by fear, by doubt, by attachment, it speaks to you in ways you never imagined. In the rustling of leaves, in the silence of the night, in the stillness of your own heart, you will hear it. You will no longer need signs because you will feel the truth in your very being. You will no longer need approval because you will know that you are already enough. You will no longer need to chase purpose because you will realize you are purpose itself. This is the destiny of a chosen soul. To move through the world not as someone seeking, but as someone who has found. Not as someone lost, but as someone guiding. Not as someone waiting for miracles, but as someone who has become the miracle. And yet, even with this knowing, the path does not end. There is no final destination, no point where the journey is complete. Growth is infinite, learning never ceases. The soul is eternal, and so is its evolution. But there will be a day, perhaps many years from now, when you will sit in quiet reflection and realize, you are no longer the person who first began this journey. You will see how far you have come, how much you have changed, how deeply you have loved, how courageously you have walked. And in that moment, there will be no fear, no regret, no longing, only gratitude. Gratitude for every challenge that strengthened you. Gratitude for every tear that purified you. Gratitude for every loss that made space for something greater. Gratitude for the divine force that never left your side, even when you felt alone. This is what it means to be a chosen soul. To live with purpose, to love without condition, to walk with faith, to shine even in the darkest places, and most of all, to never stop becoming. As the chosen soul continues on this journey, there is a deepening realization that the path is not about reaching some grand destination, but about embodying truth in each moment. Enlightenment is not a distant peak to be conquered but a state of being, accessible in the here and now. The soul that is truly awake understands that every breath, every experience, and every encounter is part of the sacred dance of existence. You may have thought that being chosen meant having all the answers, but in reality, it means embracing the mystery. The universe does not reveal its secrets all at once. It unfolds them slowly, in perfect timing, as you become ready to receive them. The more you surrender, the more you will understand, not through logic, but through deep inner knowing. With this understanding comes a profound peace. The need to prove yourself fades. The desire for recognition dissolves. The external world, once so distracting, becomes a reflection rather than a master. You no longer seek fulfillment outside yourself because you have realized the truth, you are already whole. But this is not the end. The chosen soul does not withdraw from the world to sit in eternal stillness. Instead, they return, carrying their light into the darkest corners. True wisdom is not hoarded, it is shared. True love is not kept, it is given freely. True awakening is not about escaping the world, it is about transforming it. And yet, even in this service, there is no attachment. You do not seek to change others, for you now understand that every soul awakens in its own time. Some will see your light and be drawn to it. Others will resist it, even fear it. Neither reaction defines you. Your task is only to be, to stand as a beacon, unwavering, whether the world welcomes your presence or turns away. You may wonder why so many resist the light, why truth is often met with rejection. It is because truth is disruptive. It shatters illusions. It calls for change. And change is uncomfortable. But do not let this discourage you. Even when it seems as though your presence makes no difference, trust that every seed of light you plant will grow in its own time. You may not see the harvest, but that does not mean it will not come. Patience becomes your ally. You no longer force, no longer push, no longer try to control the pace of life. You move with the current, not against it. And in this flow, miracles unfold. Doors open effortlessly. The right people, the right opportunities, the right insights arrive precisely when they are needed. The universe is not random, it is deeply intelligent, and now you are in harmony with its rhythm. There will still be challenges. Awakening does not mean an end to difficulties, it means facing them with a new perspective. Pain may still come, but it will not consume you. Loss may still occur, but it will not destroy you. Fear may still whisper, but it will not control you. Because now you see beyond the temporary, beyond the illusion of separation, beyond the fleeting nature of this world. You see eternity woven into every moment. And with this vision, your very presence becomes a gift. Not because you seek to be special, but because you have become a living reminder of what is possible. Your life is proof that peace is not found in possessions, but in presence. That joy is not dependent on circumstances, but on inner alignment. That love is not something to be earned, but something to be realized as the essence of all things. As you continue, you will find yourself drawn to places of stillness more often. Not because you reject the world, but because you now understand the power of silence. In the quiet, the deepest truths emerge. In the stillness, the soul expands. You begin to cherish solitude, not as loneliness, but as communion with something vast and sacred. But even as you embrace this stillness, you will also feel the call to return, to engage with life fully, to laugh, to love, to create, to experience the beauty of existence. For a chosen soul is not meant to escape life, but to live it more deeply, more authentically, more consciously than ever before. You will find that everything becomes an act of devotion. A simple conversation, a quiet walk, a shared smile, each moment is infused with meaning when lived with awareness. There is no longer a separation between the spiritual and the ordinary, for you now see that all of life is sacred. This is the final gift of the journey, not some grand revelation, not some ultimate achievement, but a quiet, unwavering knowing that all is as it should be. That you are exactly where you are meant to be. That every step, every breath, every experience is part of the divine unfolding. And with this knowing comes the greatest freedom of all, the freedom to simply be. No longer striving. No longer seeking, no longer waiting, just being, and in this being, you will shine.